I went from a chess.com rapid rating of 1600 to over 1800 in just 2 months. And here's how you can do it too. Step 1, tactics. Tactics, tactics, tactics. And when you think you're done, more tactics. You can never do enough tactical training. But why are tactics so important? When practicing tactics, you develop your ability to find and calculate forcing moves that lead to improving your position in a game of chess. Whether it's checkmating ideas, winning material, or even saving a draw in an otherwise completely lost position, solving tactical puzzles will help you identify and capitalize on opportunities to take advantage of mistakes and inaccuracies that your opponents make. I've personally done countless hours of tactical training, primarily through doing puzzles on chess.com. Now, one thing I should note is that your puzzle rating shouldn't really mean all that much to you. What really matters is being able to solve puzzles consistently at a decent pace, and also making sure that if you don't get the correct answer, understanding why your solution was incorrect and why the actual solution is the right one. This ties greatly into the second, more general step, calculation. Tactical training is a great start, but there's not always going to be tactics on the board. And that's why calculation in general is so important. You don't only calculate forcing moves, but you try to identify what moves are best for the improvement of your position, and then the calculation comes in, determining what your opponent's most likely or best response is going to be, and identifying whether the resulting position is going to be better for you or not. I can guarantee that trying to determine your opponent's responses to your possible candidate moves and calculating down the lines whether or not you like your position better will lead you to not only just getting better positions, but also not blundering anywhere near as much. One thing we often miss when seeing a really good move is not considering how the opponent can necessarily fight back. By calculating, you will ensure to not miss your opponent's counterattacks and have a smoother path to improving your position and eventual victory. Personally, I've started employing a 3-step strategy to trying to find the best move in any given position. First, I'll look for candidate moves. This typically will start by using forcing moves such as checks, captures, attacks, and if none of those are viable, then improving the position of one of your pieces. Then, after deciding on a candidate move that is most promising, I will try to determine my opponent's best response. If I judge that my opponent's response is too strong or leads to too much risk, I'll go back to the drawing board and look at my second favorite candidate move. Finally, when I'm satisfied that my opponent doesn't have a best response that doesn't scare me too much, I will play that move and then hopefully succeed. I've also recently started studying from a book called The Woodpecker Method, which employs the repetition of high-level puzzles in order to solidify tactical concepts in one's mind. This is an intense process, but it can be very rewarding, and I intend on using it to take my tactical training to the next level. If you're interested in it, definitely recommend looking it up. Now, calculating isn't always about attacking your opponent, and this leads us to step 3, hitting the subscribe button on my YouTube channel. No, I'm just kidding. But if you're enjoying the video, please do consider subscribing and liking the video as well. It helps me out a lot. And let's go to the real next step. Playing defensively. Honestly, this might be the biggest difference between a 1600 and an 1800. The ability to play defensively and be resourceful in an equal or losing position can lead to insane turnarounds and wins out of seemingly nowhere. And typically, when you have a 1600 who is in a worse position, it's very, very difficult for them to overcome the odds. An 1800, however, will look for defensive tricks, resources, and will often fight for draws in positions where it seems like they should lose. Training this defensive mindset will go a long way into ensuring that zeros become half points, or even ones when it comes to your results in rapid games. For me personally, I think the biggest change that's happened here is purely a change in mindset. In the past, if I ended up in a worse position or a seemingly losing position, I would get very discouraged and try to just launch my pieces in a counter-attacking opportunity that would eventually lead to nothing and a resignation. Now, if I think I'm worse, I try to determine how I can best position my pieces in order to make winning difficult for my opponent. Under pressure, and under the assumption that one is winning but seemingly unable to find the path to victory, mistakes are much more likely to happen. And I've realized this in my own results. By playing as if you're always able to draw, you are going to make draws happen. And that is purely a mentality thing, and it's helped me quite a bit. The best way to improve your defensive play is probably by just trying to employ a defensive mindset in your games. But if you want to practice a little bit more concretely, you can always look up defensive puzzles and try to solve those, or even play against lower rated players and starting with a worse or even losing position and seeing if you can try to find the defensive resources needed to turn the tides around in the game. Now, I honestly believe that with enough work on tactics, calculation, and defensive play, you will be able to get to 1800 and even beyond on chess.com. But if you're looking for other ways to improve, here are a couple of other things that I did that helped me tremendously with reaching 1800 myself. Step 4. Over the board chess. I only recently started playing over the board chess, but I've realized that it makes a huge difference in terms of my own thinking and planning when it comes to the game. Taking the time to play a classical game of chess, where you sit down, think for 5, 10, 20 minutes a move in order to find the best possible move in the situation and understand the plans and ideas that develop throughout the entirety of a game really helps train your intuition and your understanding of significant chess concepts. By playing over the board, you're really strengthening your overall ability as a chess player, and it's something that's really difficult to replicate in an online environment. So, if you're able to play over the board, I highly recommend it. It's made a world's difference for me, and I even realized that I play better in Blitz and Rapid online after having played an over-the-board tournament. I'm planning on playing a lot more tournaments in 2025, and I will be streaming most of my tournaments live on Twitch, so if you haven't followed me on Twitch already, be sure to go check that out. I'll also try my best to make recaps of my tournament games here on YouTube as well, because I think that's instructive for me and hopefully for you as a viewer. If you're interested in that or any other video ideas in the future, please do let me know so I can try to make that happen. Well, that just leaves me with one final topic. Step number 5, openings. I was debating whether or not I should include openings in this video. It's a very controversial topic. Some high-rated players say openings don't matter, and if you just focus on tactics, you'll be able to get to 2000 and beyond. And other players say you should learn openings very low rated because you'll solidify the concepts you need if you play the same openings over and over again in order to play them at the highest level. I'm somewhere in the middle of both. I personally don't study openings specifically. I don't go out of my way to memorize lines in specific openings, but I do like to play the same openings when the opportunity arises to play them. I just think it's very intuitive. If you have a similar position in the games you play, you're going to be able to identify the better moves just through trial and error and repetition. So, for that reason, I personally recommend sticking to a small handful of openings and playing them as much as you possibly can. If you want to gain rating quickly, I do think that playing specific openings over and over again is the best way to do it, just because you'll be better prepared and you'll be in situations where you actually know what to do because you've analyzed and played these openings and these games several times, whereas your opponent might not be as familiar. I don't think you should fully rely on openings, however. I think people make that mistake of just playing a specific opening, and sure, it might work for a while, but once you hit a ceiling where players actually know how to play the opening against you and you go into a middle game, you might not have the other skills necessary. And that's why tactical training and calculation on defensive play are so important. So, in short, definitely play specific openings. Try to keep your repertoire narrow, because that way you'll be able to be more familiar with the sort of games that end up happening through your opening. But don't solely rely on your opening in order to get to winning positions. It's going to take more than that to hit 1800. Now, I acknowledge the fact that 1800 isn't exactly the strongest rating in the world. I still have a long way to go in my own improvement. That's why I'm playing rapid games every single day and uploading them to YouTube in my path to 2000 ELO on chess.com. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel, second reminder, go do that now. But what are my next steps in order to hit that rating of 2000 and beyond? Well, the things I'll be focusing on are specifically strategic and positional play and endgames. I think those are the two facets of my play that I haven't really fully developed, and that is going to be my main area of study over the next few months. If you are a high-rated player watching this, and you have a device for me, given all that I've shared and what I am planning on doing in the future, please do let me know. I'm very curious to hear what your advice is, and I am all ears when it comes to anything that can help me improve my own chess. If you're a lower rated player, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I really hope that this helped you come up with some ideas to practice and hopefully reach that rating of 1800, as did I. With that being said, let me know in the comments if you liked this video and if you want more videos like this. I hope you enjoyed, and have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next daily rapid game. Take care. Goodbye.